Hey there, welcome to a new video. Today we are talking about intros in dubstep, rhythm and tearout. You probably all know these kind of intros, where it's basically just a reese bass and an atmo, and I think that's really boring and we can do better. So in this video I want to show you how you can turn this into this. So let's get right into it. In my opinion, a good intro determines the quality of a song. What I expect from an intro in a rhythm, tearout or heavy dubstep song is some really epic stuff which is creating hype all the time, so the drop feels really powerful. I think when an intro is really simple and does not have that much elements and stuff to show, you don't also have much expectations for the drops, and I think that's a missed opportunity. You can be really unique when you have a good intro with some cinematic stuff happening and just building that hype towards the drop, so the listener does not get bored and does not just skip to the drop. I often see that on rhythm tunes in particular, that people just skip to the drop without even paying attention to the intro, and I really think that's so sad, and this is why I want to address this issue of more interesting intros. I also think I will turn this episode into a masterclass format. So this one will be about intros, the next one will be about build-ups, then the episode afterwards will be about the drop, then midsection, a drop 2 variation, and an outro. So we will be making a full song exclusively in these videos. And today we will start with the intro. The BPM which I've prepared is 140, and I also want to keep this tempo. I think it's really nice to work in 140 BPM. There are two key elements which you need for an intro. Key element number one would be a good theme. So you want to create a melody, a theme, an atmosphere which just carries the excitement and builds towards the build up and drop. And key element number two is the percussion for me. So let's get started with the percussion first. I'm using the Damage 2 library for the percussion today, which is by Heavier City, so shout out to them. This is one of the most insane libraries you will ever see. We have epic toms, we have insane impacts, kicks, percussion, bongos, sticks, all these kinds of stuff. And usually the big filmmaker composers use these kinds of libraries for their trailer music. You already kind of get a trailer vibe. It's a missed opportunity to not use these sounds in rhythm, tearout, dubstep intros, because they just create so much tension and hype, and they perfectly compensate the gap with the boring intros. And if people use these kinds of libraries more often, they would be able to create more interesting intros. And this is what we are going to use now, and I'm pretty sure this will turn out extremely epic. We have different sections here. We have the full loop section, which is the blue one, which just basically already has a full loop in there, but we also have the different parts in this section in the red one, which is just the lower elements. Then we have the more mid-centered elements. And the higher stop. And we also have some impacts. And some transitioning material. There's also sections in there in which you can design your own kits and also create your own sounds and modify them with effects like distortion, filtering, and all kinds of different effects. And in this section right here, you can also change the individual sounds volume-wise, panning-wise, tuning-wise. In other sections of this library, you even have more control. We will have a look at these later in the video when we use more sounds for our intro. In order to simplify today's process, we will go with a loop like that. We can press on learn and random. Every time we press random, we get a different result. So it's basically just combining the different pre-made loops here in a different way. I would like this section, for example, so let's just render this to audio, and then we can just loop a tiny bit of it. And then we can also get some more stuff on top of it from a different folder, for example. And this is already so more interesting compared to just this atmo and reese bass. We will also replace this later on, so don't worry. This already sounds really nice. I really like how it's turning out. We can now have a look at some more mid-focus stuff. We also have different categories for straight rhythms and triplet rhythms. So you can also go just for triplet stuff if you want to. This sounds interesting. So let's keep the G sharp in mind. Record it. But I would also adapt the tuning. Here we could also change the speed. But I think the default speed is already fine. And now we can combine these two together. On the higher one, I would cut out the low end, because we still have some low end in here. I don't want it to clash with the impacts. You can also hear that the quality of these sounds is just phenomenal. I haven't seen any sample packs yet which come with this quality and also with the diversity of these sounds. Let's also record one of these impacts. We like this one on the G. So let's also record it. Of course, you can also work with multiple contact instances, but I just prefer working in the audio way. So I can save CPU capacity and I can also immediately see how the waveform looks like and decide what I want to do with the audio. I would say now let's just add one more element to this. So let's have a look what we can find here. Long reverses and whooshes. Ooh. These sound fun. Let's just record a few of them. And now we have some to choose from. I just discovered this ambient folder right here, so maybe we can just record one of these ambient sounds as well to use in our intro. Let's have a look which one sounds fine and fitting. Ooh, this one on the A. So let's just record that. Maybe one more. Or this one on the D sharp. This is also just so fun, exploring the library and getting inspiration for stuff you might wanna do in the next steps. And you can just build your intros with that, which is crazy. Yeah, just look at this sound. And here we can just elevate our intro game onto the next level. Okay, one more sound and then we will finally start producing. Maybe this hit on the B. So we have an acoustic hit. So now we can start building our little intro. I would plan 16 bars for the intro, then 8 bars for the build-up, and then the drop will happen. So today we will be focusing on the 16 bars. I would maybe start with the percussion. Maybe one more impact. So we just have one more to choose from. The steep one for the intro. you can already hear that we have a foundation for the intro now, and now we just need to add more elements. We will also do our own touch on this. I would also cut this loop a little bit. Because I don't like the tail here at the end, so I think I will just double this. Yeah, this is more straightforward. So the sound selection is the key here to get a quick idea and not to be stuck on just a reese bass and an Atmo. Let's apply some reverb and let's use this new reverb. I've also covered this in a previous video if you haven't seen this. I haven't found my favorite preset right here yet, but maybe today we can find a good sounding one. Let's also group this section. And now I would do some more processing here. I like using a convolver. Let's use the kilohertz convolver to just create some more tension towards this transition here, because it's all about automations at the end to make this come alive even more. Let's go to the impulse responses, then to the spaces. I don't know which one sounds good. Maybe we can try this one. Noise. You need to isolate a really, really short section. This does not sound bad. So we could now automate this. Some compression. I would also get rid of these swells really quick because they are annoying me a little bit right now. We haven't found the perfect opportunity to place them. I can bring this up with the compression here. I would also add some more reverb to this. And now we can actually start with building our theme. I really like using arpeggios, so maybe we can start with an arpeggio, which displays the vibe and carries it towards the end of the intro into the build-up. Let's open a MIDI clip. And let's also open up a serum. And now we just need to start writing our little arpeggio and yeah, make the sound more interesting. Also enable the arpeggiator. We will make this sound more interesting later. let's add some reverb and delay. And some compression. Let's also add a filter, maybe the diffuser filter. Maybe also a comp filter on top. And what we can also do for a little bit more variation, add some PWM. Put this to a macro. And also in the next step, I would automate the second oscillator and the detuning. This one will be detuned even more. This one will be quite mono towards the beginning, and then we will increase the detuning. And we will also let the second oscillator be randomized. Adding a little bit of randomization to the attack right here. So let's also go to not on random discrete. And we will modulate this with an auxiliary source, which would be macro 3. And let this being increased towards the end, so we have some kind of glitchy transitioning happening. And we'll also route some more stuff onto this. What we can also do is doing the same for the release. Just a tiny bit. And also onto the wave kill position. So we can also let this be randomized. Node on random discrete, route this to the auxiliary source, macro 3. Let's also go into the wavetable editor and delete the waves we don't want, which would be this one. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. So I only want a saw, sine, and a triangle for this. And on the second one, we will do the same. And maybe this one as well. Onto the matrix, then adjusting the octave amount. Also macro 3, macro 3. And what we can also do is increasing the drive towards the end of the intro. So let's also go to the mod source. So let's just route this to another macro, macro 4, for example. Convolver, which we will also be modulating towards the end. So we just build ourselves a little transitioning tool. Maybe a little bit less of the drive and of the reverb. Also, I would reduce the diffuser a little bit. And now we can fatten this up with some more intense compression. And also an EQ. And make this a bit wider. We can use the new widening rack by riot. I want to test it a little bit more. And also let this come in. So we'll also do some filtering here and bring down the arpeggio a little bit. I would bring this up a little bit more. And maybe choose a different convolver. Yeah, this sounds better. Would also do a little EQ here to increase the convolver effect, and then just muting it or muting the EQ. Actually make this one a little bit louder now. And now let's also add one more element. We can also do this with serum, for example. Let's just get a serum in there. So we have like da, 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 and then the drop will hit dum, dum, da, dum, da, dum, something like that. Now we just need to improve the sound, add some more intense filtering. So maybe with a flanger, with a phaser. Some convolving. Make this more stereo. Also a diffuser filter. And some more processing. Let's also go down an octave. In addition to that, we will also add a clean saw and cut out the fundamental here. So exclude this from the processing we just did. So I will route this to filter 2, direct out. So you can hear it in the background. So we have a clean and mono sub. Maybe also bring down the convolving a little bit. Maybe a little bit more mix. Like this. Sounds fun. Also a little bit less cutoff. Some more attack. And some more filtering in general, so we can get rid of the artifacts from the compression. And one more EQ after the compression to clean up the mids. Less of the convolving. Also make this a bit more quiet. I will increase the filter a little bit. Some more blending. And you can see how much this is carrying. Bring this sound up. And now pitch it. One semitone up. To do summer mixing here already, I would take the bass sound and do some spectral side chaining with the percussion. So we don't want the low ends to clash with each other. And this is why spectral side chaining is really important. We will grab N and choose the group 17. And now enable the external mode. And now we can increase this. And every time the drums hit, the low end from the bass is being dug down, so they clash less with each other. And now we can just polish everything more with some cymbals from the Damage 2 library. With all the percussion, it would sound like this. So we just have the theme, which also sounds interesting, but the percussion is missing. And this is why it's great to have a library like that. We just have so many elements to choose from and build our own worlds with this. And that's just really exciting. go to the compression unit and slightly reduce it towards the high end. So the high end is not compressed that much. You can bring up these sounds. I would also cut out the low end. Just sounds a bit cleaner. Same for these sounds. A little bit more high end. This one is okay, just a little Atmo. So I would choose the longer ones for the beginning and the shorter ones for the more intense section. And also cut out the low end a little bit. In general, I would bring out the mid percussion a little bit. And boost this one frequency. Really like this one. And that's basically it, how you can turn this really boring intro with just a reese and an Atmo into something actually exciting and tensionful by turning a reese into a more interesting plug with some nice distortion and filtering. This arpeggio. We have this beautiful Atmo shot. And in addition to all these melodic elements, we also have the other really important key element, which is the percussion, to create this tension, which we would not be able to achieve with anything else. We can also create our own custom sounds. Here you have certain input sounds, like this one, or this, or this. And here you have just more possibilities to customize the sound to your needs. More attack, less decay, tuning, more hall. Then let's go to the overdrive, less drive, more low end, more output. You can process the transients, and here you can also choose between the different effects. You could also add more reverb. And now let's just render this to audio, and now we can also add this into our song. So we can quickly create custom components to fill up empty space really quickly. Some panning. And let's also make it a little bit more stereo. The next section would be the build-up now. And this will be featured in the next part of producing this song from scratch. And we will also utilize more stuff from Damage 2 because there's some more intense percussion in there, which is perfect for build-ups as well. I'm really excited to use this. So shout out to Heavy City for providing me with a license. I really, really appreciate it. And I think you got an impression of how you can use this in a creative way to support your ideas, to make more out of your ideas, and to just create more intense and unique results. That's it for today. I will play the final result one more time now. And thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Check out Damage 2 by Heavy City. It's one of the best libraries in the game. And see you in the next one. Goodbye.